Hey, welcome to the Micheaux Mission. 2 men, 1 podcast. Every black film ever made. My name is Len, a.k.a. the Bat Tribble. And as always, I'm joined by my partner.
Hey, this is Vincent Williams.
Tonight, we are closing out Bootober with a smile. As Vincent has selected from 2023 Walt Disney's star-studded reimagining of Haunted Mansion, directed by Justin Simien and starring LaKeith Stanfield, Tiffany Haddish, Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, and Jamie Lee Curtis with Rosario Dawson. I mean, who could ask for anything more?
Blink if you and you'll miss her, Winona Ryder.
Blink and you miss her, Winona Ryder. If you shut one eye, you'll say, hey, is that Mary Lou Henner? It sure is. That's right. And we're going to be telling you all about it tonight here on the Micheaux Mission, which is streaming live from Young Junk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace. We are streaming to X, we are streaming to Facebook, and we are streaming, of course, to YouTube, where each and every one of you are out there in the chat. Hello, missionaries.
Good evening, one and all. And a special thank you to longtime missionary and good friend to the show, Robert Monroe Jr., who sent a copy of an Oscar Micheaux novel.
Really?
My way. Yes. Very classy. Very, very classy. Thank you so much. So appreciate it.
Okay, all right. So you've got some reading to do.
Always.
Very good, very good. Before we start, folks, I want to give you a bit of a programming note. The Micheaux Mission, we are going to be live tonight, but as we mentioned last week, we will not be on the air next week. So plan your day accordingly. November 5th, we will not be here because we will be... Well, Vincent will be home. I will be at the polls.
At the polls.
As the judge of election.
Oh, yeah.
For on election day.
Election day. Yeah.
Yes, I've had my training.
Yeah,
I've been sworn in.
All right.
I am officially a judge.
That's right. And we will see each and every one of you on the other side.
We will see you on the other side, hopefully from where we are now.
Hopefully.
But we have plans if we need to be elsewhere. Hope you have plans too.
Right.
You know, like I know. Get these secret plans going. All right, Vincent, how you doing, my friend?
I'm all right. Feeling good. Fall is finally falling for real, I think, here in Philadelphia.
Yes.
And, it's my favorite season. So
Which means that it has been absolutely gorgeous sleeping weather. I don't know about you, but I love cracking my window.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And huddling under the blankets, under the covers.
My favorite season. Do love the autumn. So I'm doing well. And yourself?
Doing good. I have a question for you, Vincent.
Oh, boy.
And this is Bootober related.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
All right.
Because I'm curious, we've been on this show for a long time.
Yeah.
It's going on, it will be, it will be 8 years.
8 years, that's right.
And it historically, some of the missionaries may have picked up on this. You are not a fan of horror movies.
Not generally.
Okay.
I like what I like.
Okay. Do you remember your first horror movie?
My first horror movie. Like the first movie that how are we going to talk?
Well, let's talk about this. Do you remember the first movie that scared you?
Yes.
What was that? The
first movie that scared me, that was a horror movie, because the first movie that scared me is the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Which could count as sci-fi horror.
Yeah, sci-fi horror. But the first actual horror movie that scared me, my father was a big Stephen King fan.
Okay.
And when Carrie came on, the movie Carrie, my mom actually said, this is too much. It's time for him to go to bed, as he would often
So it came on TV.
Came on TV. And my father said, leave that, as he often would say, leave that boy alone. He's fine. He's not bothering anyone. And Carrie scared the shit out of me.
Really?
Oh yeah, I had nightmares about Carrie.
Even though it was on, it must have been on cable. So
yeah. Well, I don't look. I
you don't even know.
All I know is, have you seen Carrie?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, at the end where her hand comes out the grave, I dreamed about that for years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that was a big scary one for me. I watched Rosemary's Baby and liked it, and I said, "Oh, okay." And then I fooled around and watched The Omen, and then The Omen scared me.
Yeah, because that's a whole nother level.
Yeah, and then I don't know what was wrong with me. I got my mind to watch The Exorcist.
So now you were just in this whole religious demon.
Look, man, I'm Catholic. I was Catholic. My family was Catholic till we were like 15, and then we converted to Baptist. Okay. So, in my heart, I'm a Catholic. So, yeah, demons, possessions, the Antichrist, all like I'm kind of hardwired.
That is true.
Like that's what's in my head. That's what I'm hardwired for. So, I was scared, but then I was drawn to it. But then, so yeah, but Carrie's the first one I remember where I was like, this is just.
No, I feel you.
This is just a lot. I know we're not supposed to talk, but we're talking about my dad. My brother just reminded me of Salem's Lot. Which Salem's Lot didn't scare me as much as Carrie did, but Salem's Lot was scary too.
No, well,
another Stephen King
property, most definitely. It probably didn't scare you as much because Salem's Lot was made for television, whereas Carrie was just on TV.
Right. I remember that little boy knocking on the window though.
Oh yeah,
floating in the air, telling that boy to let him in.
Yeah.
So.
I remember when I was young, and I may have talked about this on the show before, me and my sister, we watched this, what I didn't know at the time was a TV movie called The Screaming Woman.
Okay.
And it was all about this woman who lived at this house, but that was on this huge estate. And she would like sit off and like on a bench, like on the estate, and she would hear a woman screaming. She was an older woman. She would hear a woman screaming, and everyone thought she was crazy, right? But the movie, when you heard the woman screaming, it would cut to the scene of this woman surrounded by dirt. It was just her face.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was just screaming. That scared the hell out of me.
Oh, my goodness.
Especially because when I would go to play basketball around the corner was in Albury Park.
Okay.
During the day, fine.
Of course.
But at night, if I'm, messing around and be coming home a little bit later and it's dark now, and I'm walking and there's these tall trees, and in my mind, I'm hearing a screaming woman coming from the forest.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
I was done.
Yeah.
I was done. The other movie that scared the first, but that was a TV movie. The first movie that scared me is I went with my friends to see Dracula, and not Bela Lugosi's Dracula. This was Frank Langella's Dracula from the 70s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is where I learned the valuable lesson of never close your eyes when you're watching a scary movie. Because the movie was happening, and I'm sitting there with my friends, and I'm eating the popcorn, and Dracula would go and he'd be behind some woman, or he'd lift up his cape. And I was like, no, I would close my eyes. And of course, when I went to sleep, I'm dreaming of everything is worse. Because
you're imagining.
I'm imagining everything.
Yeah.
So now, by this time, because of the screaming woman, I had tricked myself that whenever I was scared, in my dreams, my brain would immediately cut to Santa Claus landing on the roof and him bringing me toys. And that would make me feel better.
Okay.
And it would break me out of whatever nightmare I was.
All right.
After Dracula, I'm scared. I'm seeing Dracula. I'm like, Santa Claus. Santa Claus comes, lands on the roof. Dracula comes out of the chimney and bites on Santa Claus. I was done.
This is terrible.
Dude, I did not watch Frank Langella
Yeah.
in a movie.
Just generally.
Until
Like, you didn't watch Masters of the Universe.
no. I didn't see Frank Langella in a movie until maybe I was in 20-something.
Right.
And I was like, no.
I don't mess with Frank Langella. Okay, fair.
No.
Fair.
I think like he was on the episode of Love Boat. I was
Right.
like, nope. Nope.
Boy, that's funny.
No.
It's funny how much exposure we had to films that we would deem inappropriate now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think kids, I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit tonight. I'm fascinated by what we deem scary
Yeah.
for kids, and just how kind of willy-nilly it was for us. Like you and I were talking a little bit before we were taping last week about the late night horror movies, and in Baltimore there was a movie of the week that came on Fridays or Saturdays called Ghost Host.
Okay.
And it was all kind of, ghost stories and a lot of British horror. Like, I know for a fact I saw The Wicker Man the first time on Ghost Hosts. But it was like between cable television and just general late night television, you could be 11 or 12 and catch something that in theory you shouldn't have been watching. Right. And then it just kind of scars you.
That's very true.
But in a good way.
Yes, it scars you in a good way.
In a good look, man. Look.
That doesn't even sound right.
Look. Well, I think there's value in being a kid and being scared. Like we were kind of in that sweet spot in the mid 80s where we were teenagers. Mm-hmm. So that's something like I always go to Poltergeist.
Yes.
Which is legitimately scary.
Mm-hmm.
But I was old enough that I could enjoy it, even though it was scary.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much, I mean, even something like the Gremlins. Like, I don't know how much there's a space for the Gremlins on a modern kind of cultural stage.
I think there's a space for Gremlins.
Well, I don't know how much we like to scare kids, like for real scare kids.
Oh, kids. Well, first of all, it doesn't matter what we like; it's what kids.
No. I'm not saying kids don't like it. I'm saying what they produce. I'm saying I don't know if or like I've been watching a couple of conversations with millennials about something like Goosebumps, like the old Goosebumps show, which we were too old for. But when you looked at episodes or clips from, like, some of that was legitimately scary.
Yeah.
And that was on like Nickelodeon.
Yeah. But when you're talking about stuff that we create, I think we should make the distinction you're talking about in America. Because the beautiful thing about now is that with the world being open to us because of streaming.
Yeah.
Kids, they're looking for, fright on their level that they can ingest.
You can find
it's out there, just in the anime space.
Right. I'm sure we'll thank the people who came to the showing of Attack the Block, but Attack the Block, they killed a kid, and they killed a couple of kids and a dog.
Right, they killed the dog right at the beginning. Thanks for that.
I did a little program. You like that, right? A little segue.
Vincent. Those are always better.
When you point out
just let them happen.
Put a little lampshade on it. All right, go ahead.
See, you hadn't put the lampshade on it until you put the damn lampshade on it.
There you go.
Thank you to all of you who came out to the screening of Attack the Block last Wednesday at Bryn Mawr Film Institute with Vincent and I and Stephanie Watts of the Be Real Black Cinema Club. It was we had a ball. The Ghouls Next Door were in the building with their film Jolly Butcher. It was a really, really great time. It was almost a sold-out theater. It was so much fun. And
it was.
How was it? Because that was your first time seeing Attack the Block on the big screen.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah, same here.
It was absolutely fantastic. You know, we love Attack the Block. Mm-hmm. And I love it even more having seen it on the big screen.
Yeah, it's a whole new experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whole new experience. Mm-hmm. And for those who couldn't make out to the screening, calm yourselves, because the Be Real Micheaux screening series will be returning in 2025 to the Bryn Mawr Film Institute in March of 2025 for Black Women's History Month. Mm-hmm. The film has already been selected by our audience, but we are going to give you a little peek on it in the new year. But get your travels plans together, because we got a lot of fun ahead of you for 2025. Mm-hmm. I also want to give a shout out to two people. My good friend Ronald Young, who has a podcast, Wait For It, that is now in its second season. It's a fantastic podcast. It's all about his experience and his history with and his challenges with his weight and living as a larger Black man. And it goes the podcast goes in deep. It's funny, it's tear-jerking, it's heartfelt, it's fantastic conversations. Wait For It, WEIGHT. Look for that wherever you find podcasts. It's now in its second season, and it is excellent podcasting. Ron was at the Resonant Podcast Festival in Virginia over the weekend, where he met one Nicole Hill, Vincent, who is the host of Secret Adventures of Black People podcast.
Very nice.
Podcast that I am now a devoted fan of.
Okay.
But Nicole Hill was there, and she was giving a discussion, holding a panel. Mm-hmm. At the festival, and she was talking about, what type of podcasts resonate with people at the Resonate Podcast Festival. Mm-hmm. And she was using as examples podcasts that she likes.
Okay.
And one of the podcasts, as a matter of fact, on the big screen, she had 4 podcasts that she highlighted as podcasts that just feel like a good hang. You just want to sit and hang with these people. And one of the 4 podcasts was the Micheaux Mission.
Oh.
Totally unsolicited.
Well, thank you, Nicole.
Thank you so much. That is so dope.
Okay.
That is
Yeah.
so dope. We appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what we go for.
That is exactly what we go for.
Right,
just to be a good hang. So
right.
So thank you, Nicole. And I mean it. I am now a fan of the Secret Adventures of Black People podcast, which is available wherever you get podcasts. So there's 2 for you to check out. Wait For It and the Secret Adventures of Black People. Check it out wherever you find podcasts, and tell them the Micheaux Mission sent you.
Very nice.
All right?
All right.
All right. And I do see in the chat Pharrell Blackwell asking, when is the mission hitting the road? We are planning some things for
logistics
2025.
Logistics. That doesn't quite rhyme with tradition from Fiddler on the Roof, but I sort of got it. Do you like Fiddler on the Roof?
Never seen it.
How have you never seen?
Easily.
Because musical.
Easily.
Oh, Fiddler on the Roof is fantastic.
So you say. And now it's time to hear from you via your emails, or as we like to call them,
missives from the missionaries. So what else is going on, Len?
We have emails, Vincent.
Ooh, missives from the missionaries. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, missives from the missionaries.
Missives from the missionaries. Vincent, we have an email from Michael Sykes.
Hey, what's up, Michael?
In the subject line, it says, do these white directors who directed great Black movies get invited to your cookout?
No.
Well, next email we have...
I hate that. I don't I never liked it.
Well, let's see exactly.
All right.
You know Michael. He's going to go in on the premise.
Sure. Go ahead.
Hello, Len and Vincent. I watched your review of the Blues Brothers for the second time, and it was amazing how y'all analyzed that film. I have a question. Do these white directors who directed great black movies get invited to your cookout, such as John Landis, who directed Coming to America, the Thriller music video, and Trading Places?
I mean, if he does, we got to make sure Eddie Murphy isn't there.
I know. What he doing here?
Right. So if I got picked between John Landis and Eddie Murphy,
John.
That one was easy.
That was easy. Next, we have the director of The Color Purple and Amistad, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
No, to Steven Spielberg?
Yeah, I like Steven Spielberg. I don't know if I want him in my house.
Fair enough.
I like E.T. as much as the next man.
Okay. How about Norman Jewison?
That's hard.
Who directed In the Heat of the Night
and Soldier Story.
Story and The Hurricane.
Yeah. He gets the closest.
Yeah. Maybe we're bringing him a plate.
We're
bringing him a plate.
Right. He gets the closest.
Yeah. We'll give you a container.
Yeah.
You can take home.
I was hoping Norman Jewison would be on there because he really is the only one I can think of.
Well.
All right, who else we got?
What about the director of Ray, Taylor Hackford?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I like him, but...
Well, he also directed White Knights and An Officer and a Gentleman.
Yeah.
Okay. How about Brian Gibson, who directed The Josephine Baker Story and What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah.
No.
If Norman Jewison gets a to-go plate, nobody else gets closer than Norman Jewison. Like, you really should have ended with Norman Jewison.
I guess.
He's the one that would make me like, shit. Norman Jewison. You know, just sort of philosophically, I'm against the whole concept of the cookout.
Yes.
In inviting people, like just philosophically the whole thing. But Norman Jewison is one where it's like him and Tina Marie are standing over there. I'm like, ah.
Yeah. Now Tina Marie gets to come to
it's like, Norman Jewison and Tina Marie.
Does Tina Marie get invited to the cookout?
Yeah.
What? What was that? I don't know what those sounds you just made.
I don't know if Tina Marie is actually white. Tina Marie just real light.
Okay.
You know, blackness is a spectrum. We got very, very, very light all the way to very, very, very dark. I don't know.
Answer the question.
I'm unsure about.
Answer the question. Does Tina Marie get invited to the cookout?
My daughter actually got mad. Foolish. My daughter said, "What's this? Well, how come Tina Marie isn't a cultural appropriator?" And me and my wife both clasped our pearls and like, how dare you talk about Tina Marie? I don't like this whole conversation. Let's go to the next.
No, you weren't. You're the one that brought her up. So answer the question.
I don't know.
Does Tina Marie get invited to the cookout?
Here's the thing.
You said, I don't like this whole concept of the cookout.
Here's the thing.
That's what I heard.
I would say no, because I don't like this whole cookout. I don't like the whole framework of it. And Tina Marie would understand and say, here you go. If you invited Tina Marie to the cookout, she wouldn't come.
But would you invite her to the cookout?
I would not.
That's all I want to
satisfied.
Just admit it.
Damn.
You would not invite Tina Marie to the cookout.
Yes, you're just going to keep saying it, huh?
Yes.
All right.
That you, Vincent Williams, would not invite Tina Marie.
Ain't no cookouts. Ain't no cookout. Can we move on, please? What is next?
We have another email.
Yes.
This is from Morgan Robinson.
Hey, what's up, Morgan?
The subject line is Battle of the Haunted Mansions.
Okay.
Hi, Vince and Len. Spooky season's greeting to you both. First, I really enjoyed your review of Master last week. I watched it when it was released, and I was applying to doctoral programs. I had many of the same feelings you all had. It left me feeling, that's it? And I wanted so much more from it. Since you are reviewing Haunted Mansion from 2023 tonight, I wanted to ask you why you chose this adaptation over The Haunted Mansion from 2003, starring our beloved Eddie Murphy. I remember when it came out, and while 8-year-old me was meh on it, it has grown on me tremendously over the years. Have you all seen? If so, what are your thoughts? The Haunted Mansion was released during Eddie's peak of family-friendly fare and wasn't well received, but I think it's a solid effort from all involved. Have a happy Halloween, Bess Morgan Robinson. That actually coincides with research that I've done, because I have not seen The Haunted Mansion. But just doing a little bit of research on this movie, the one we're reviewing, you know, you can't help but read on this because they're both not only share the same title, but they both share the same source. They're both Disney films adapted, you know, based on the ride, the popular ride. And Morgan is right. The Haunted Mansion, when it came out, was not well received at all, but has since become a bit of a cult favorite that is on a lot of people's and a lot of magazines' best Halloween movies.
Well, first of all, just a little programming note. The reason we're doing this one instead of the Eddie Murphy one is because I got them mixed up. Like, truthfully, like I said, let's do Haunted Mansion. And then I looked and in between Len and I talking, like Len said something where Len is always in programming mode. And somehow this one fit in better. And Len was like, oh, you mean the LaKeith Stanfield, because that does this, that, and other. And I said, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. LaKeith Stanfield. So we ended up doing this because I meant the Eddie Murphy one.
Yeah, but you didn't say the Haunted Mansion.
I didn't. I just said Haunted Mansion. I've never seen the Eddie Murphy one. But at the risk of bleeding into our review, it does not surprise me that it was not received well and has sort of garnered fans as the years go by. Because, again, I'm going to go with what we were talking about a few minutes ago. I think this slot of the family-friendly horror movie is one that we don't do that much anymore. And it just, like I think this generation of critics, I think, frankly, this generation of tweens, you know, like that 12-year-old sweet spot for the kind of movie that we're, you know, again, Gremlins. Like, I don't think we have the type of cultural landscape that you could make Gremlins anymore. And to a certain extent, like The Goonies or Monster Squad.
Well, you're saying you can't make it for in the film.
Or Critters. Critters is another one, which is a Gremlins knockoff, but it kind of occupies that same space.
But you're saying we couldn't make it as a feature film?
Right. I'm saying that it could not go through the process of getting greenlit, getting a budget, getting whatever, studio putting power behind it, putting it in the movies.
Okay.
And then I also don't know if that market is there like it was.
I don't think in the films. I don't think in the theaters.
Well, that's what I mean.
Streaming,
in the theaters.
Streaming it is because of Stranger Things.
Here's the thing. No, Stranger Things is a perfect example. Stranger Things is a series made for people who were 12 then. Like, Stranger Things is 100%. I'm not going to say it's a member berry, but it absolutely has the whiff of a member berry.
Well, yeah, but I still think
Like,
it's
I think
made
kids,
for.
Oh, I don't think it's made for 12-year-olds at all. I 100% disagree with you. I think everything about it is made for. I love those Spielberg movies.
Yeah, but
now we have this.
But I think the kids found that and are what made it
I think the kids have found it, but I think the kids were a secondary audience for it.
Okay.
I mean, the whole thing is just Spielberg pastiche. Like, that's the whole shtick. That's why, and then Michael Modine and Winona Ryder, like they dress. Matthew Modine. Like, it's basically Cobra Kai.
Okay.
But with monsters.
Okay.
I mean, and I love Stranger Things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but that doesn't surprise me. Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
And after reading about it, and only reading about the cult status that it is garnered, I may watch it this weekend.
Look. All right, look, we're going to talk about all this during review.
All right.
I got a lot of thoughts about this during review. So.
All right, we got one more email.
All right, who is that? That was Morgan?
That was Morgan.
Thank you, Morgan.
We got one more email. This is from Terry Plain.
What's up, Terry?
Dearest Len, keeping the innocents out of this. I hope you are well in this Boo-tober month. I've thoroughly enjoyed the reviews. This past weekend, I saw the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. My joy was elevated when I saw that brothers Robert and Ronald Bell, founders of the legendary group Kool and the Gang, were inducted along with the other members into this prestigious club.
That's a damn shame Kool and the Gang wasn't in there yet.
You know why I'm here, Len. With this undeniable honor, it is only fitting that they should be bumped up to the new top 5 of performing brothers.
Yeah, Len. How about that?
It's funny. I'm only reading this because I got into a conversation about this just this week. So, Terry continues. Here's the list that I think our missionaries would approve. Number one. The Isley Brothers.
Isley Brothers, of course.
I have forgiven you, Len, for that mishap. We cool. Number two. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay. All right.
Number three. The Jackson 5.
Oh, look.
Number 4. Kool and the Gang. Number 5. Anybody else who does not have their name in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, let them argue amongst themselves.
Oh, boy, that's really funny.
Terry Plain.
Oh, there you go, Len. There you go. Who you want to bump off that list so you can get? What was the nonsense you said? It was Jagged Edge or 112 or one of them?
Well, above Jagged Edge and I don't even know, or 112 Brothers? I don't know.
Oh, you've got disdain for 112.
No, I don't know if they're brothers.
Like they can't touch the hem of the garment of Jagged Edge.
I don't know, but I don't know if they're brothers.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
But above them both, I would put Jodeci.
What, above Jagged Edge and 112?
Yes.
I mean, yeah. I would too. Above Jagged Edge and 112?
There's a part of me that wants to put Jodeci above Kool and the Gang.
Yeah, that's...
Well, here's my argument. Here's my argument. No. Here's my argument.
Whatever argument you're about to make is...
Here's my argument. Because the criteria are brother groups.
Yes.
Kool and the Gang is the two brothers. Right? And they created the group. Right?
Why you say it like that?
They did.
Yeah, I know, but you said like that was he was like, they created the group.
No,
yes, they created the group.
They created the group, but the group is a band. It's a whole. It's like Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's brothers, but then it's this band.
Sure.
With Earth, Wind, and Fire, you have this amazing otherworldly band, right? And with Kool and the Gang, you've got a good band. They're not on the level of Earth, Wind, and Fire. I think you would agree with that,
they're
right?
not, but there's a lot of room between good and Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay. But with Jodeci.
And understand that everything that you're saying is in the context of defending Jodeci.
But with Jodeci, you have 4 men, 2 sets of brothers.
So you're saying they're more brotherly.
Yes.
And
thus, as a brother act, they succeeded more than Kool and the Gang.
Because it's more brothers in it.
No, because I think they had more of success than Kool and the Gang.
I don't know if they had more success than Kool and the Gang.
I think they left more of a cultural footprint.
Well, they definitely didn't leave more.
I think they left more of a cultural footprint than Kool and the Gang.
Didn't.
I do.
I mean, you can. But
I think
not that they're a judge of anything. But I mean, you can keep saying it over and over again.
The world agrees with you.
Yeah, but between Ladies' Night, Celebrate, and Jungle Boogie, I don't know. Has anyone white even heard of Jodeci? Like, I know Jodeci is ours, but
that's where we're talking about ours.
Okay. So you're saying they left a cultural footprint with black people?
That is
more than Kool and the Gang.
That a little deeper than Kool.
You know what?
Not much, but little.
You know what? That's an argument. Now that is an argument.
Yes.
You said cultural footprint, though.
I was talking about our. This is all black groups that we're talking about.
All right.
Yes.
All right. I actually think that's a good argument.
It's the right argument. It is the argument, and it is the right answer. It is Jodeci. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Kool and the Gang is like number 80 or something like that. They belong in the top 10, but I'm saying Jodeci is over them.
When you're talking to black people. And
when I'm talking about this top 5.
Quite honestly, when you're talking to black people of a certain age, because I might be taking my answer back, saying that they left more of a footprint with black people. I think Gen X black people, I think it's just Gen X black people.
No, I don't. I think they have left more of a lasting footprint than Kool and the Gang.
I think
I'm not saying Kool and the Gang hasn't left a footprint. I'm not saying that Kool and the Gang was not significant. I'm just saying that I think as a brother act,
right.
Jodeci.
Now, there are 2 groups of brothers in Jodeci. Like, you are correct.
Yes, they are.
Mr. Dalvin and
yes,
they're brothers.
Yes.
Too? Okay, all right. Then there are 2 groups of brothers.
Yes,
that is correct.
Yes,
but the cultural footprint, even with black people, I don't know, Len.
Yeah, well, learn.
Yeah.
So next, let's move on.
I mean, I'm glad you have this full thing in your mind.
I do. I know things.
I'm smart. I'm smart.
I'm not dumb.
I'm
like
not
everyone
dumb.
says.
I'm not dumb. I'm smart.
And I want respect. Right now, someone is about to kill me when I get home. It is now time for us to.
Why was Fredo so dumb? Do you think something was wrong with Fredo, or was he actually dumb?
I think we would call Fredo now as possibly on the spectrum.
You think Fredo was?
I don't think he was dumb.
I don't think he was dumb.
He was on the spectrum.
I just think I like, because what was the birth order? So Sonny was the oldest.
Yeah, and then it's Fredo.
Fredo's well, see, there you go. I think he just had sort of classic middle.
Don't you remember they had to put like a candle on his chest because he was sick?
Yeah. So Sonny's the oldest, and they knew he was going to be the thug.
Yeah.
And then Michael, they put all their hopes and dreams into.
Because Fredo was just this lost.
Well, Fredo was just like Sonny's the thug, so we don't really need Fredo. And then Michael is smart, so we're going. So, but
and
yeah.
then the sister.
Well, she doesn't count. Because
but where is she in the order? I don't know.
She might be right under Sonny.
So she's older than Fredo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she?
I got the sense she was older than Michael. Like
yeah, I got the sense
Michael's
that
the baby.
I got the sense that maybe she's between Fredo and Michael.
Maybe between Fredo and Michael.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or does? Yeah, because he doesn't say because Michael doesn't call her his little sister. You think he says, do you think I make my sister a widow? Right. He doesn't say like little sister.
Right.
So I think for some reason, I think she's between.
It makes sense that Fredo would be right up underneath Sonny, because you get the sense that they were teaching Sonny how to slit people's throats and get rid of bodies.
And he had to watch his brother.
And he had to watch Fredo because Fredo was Fredo. Okay, so that makes sense. All right. This has been Godfather Talk.
Oh my God. I have already heard from afar that our Fredo rap was not funny. And that Fredo was sensitive.
I tell you what, he'll break your heart.
Broke my heart.
He'll break your heart. He had to take his ass fishing. Nah, you don't need a life jacket. You good.
Michael wants the kids. Michael wants the kids. No, you go. You go. Michael wants the kids. No, Fredo. No. Go. Go ahead. Go ahead. Take some oranges. Take some oranges with you.
Over there. Over there. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to go Fredo. Get in the house.
Oh, no.
He was sensitive. Well, we can't be here all day.
No.
It's now time for fastest review ever. It's now time for the top 5.
Who's your top 5? My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5 is.
Top 5, where I present a list and Vincent presents for all of us his scintillating commentary on that list.
Yes.
Vincent, this is a little bit in theme.
Okay.
We are in the month of Boo-tober. Last week we reviewed Master.
We did.
By Mariamo Diallo and starring Regina Hall. And in your review of Master, you noted how this movie reminded you of Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
Where Are You?
Yes.
The animated series from 1969.
Yes. It actually paled in comparison.
It paled in comparison.
Scooby-Doo did something better than this did. Yes.
Because
absolutely.
Scooby-Doo, and I may be paraphrasing, so correct me if I'm wrong, in your words, set up, established its universe.
Yes.
And remained true to that universe.
Yes.
For most of its run.
Right. In the original run, and to be clear, I'm not actually, the funny thing is I don't actually really like Scooby-Doo that much. I respect it for its place in the culture.
Yes.
The wider, broader culture.
Yes.
So like I actually, kind of ambiently watched the first Scooby-Doo. And then I liked the one a couple of years ago that had like the continuity. It was like mystery. It was the Mystery Machine anyway. Yes, but one thing that and I'm not the first person to make this observation, that Scooby-Doo existed in a rational universe. It didn't cheat. It was like, look, this at the end of the thing, they're gonna pull the thing off his head. It was Old Man Johnson the whole time.
That's right.
And then they're gonna take 3 minutes to explain how everything that you just saw can be explained.
Exactly.
Oh, it's mirror set up. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I thought that was interesting how you were talking about how true it was to its universe.
Consistent.
It was very consistent. And that got me thinking, if you are a fan of animation and cartoons, then you know that, just like the world, everyone loves copycats. The world of animation loves copycat.
Yeah.
And there has probably been few series and cartoon ideas that have been copied more
Yeah.
than Scooby-Doo,
That's real talk.
which debuted in 1969. It was a huge hit, and it was created by Hanna-Barbera. In addition to multiple Scooby franchises, which Hanna-Barbera would do over the years, and some of them moving farther and further away from their original concept, but always kind of circling back. The company milked the concept for all it's worth, churning out similarly themed shows from 1970s into the early 80s, and even another stalwart of Saturday morning cartoons, Ruby Spears, would get in on the act. On a few as well.
Okay.
All of these involved people, usually teenagers, like the Scooby-Doo, solving mysteries or encountering the paranormal, with few exceptions. More importantly, they all have a gimmicky central character, which is typically an animal, but not always. Frequent themes always include having a band, toning down some of the horror elements, and apparently hating the Velma character, because all of the other knockoffs usually didn't have a smart woman in them, like Scooby-Doo featured Velma.
Right.
So I was looking at some of these knockoffs of Scooby-Doo.
You know, I love Scooby-Doo knockoffs. Yes.
So
what are the 5 that you got?
I got 5 that each have at least some type of either supernatural bent,
Sure.
or loosely may fit into our culture.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Black
'Cause I wonder if
culture.
you're going to do my favorite one. Go ahead.
Okay. Starting at number 5,
Uh-huh.
we have from 1979, which proved to be a very magical year for this type of thing,
Okay.
The New Shmoo.
Oh, I hated Shmoo.
Do you remember Shmoo?
I do remember Shmoo.
A bizarre but lovable shape-shifting creature and his young comic book creator friends investigate reports of the paranormal.
Yeah.
Similar to Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? The show follows a group of teenagers, Mickey, Nita, who was Latin,
Okay.
and Billy Joe,
Of course.
who solve mysteries and crimes with their friend Shmoo, a friendly, bulbous creature who can stretch and shape his body into any form he wants. The teens worked for Mighty Mystery Comics. This lasted 1 season in 1979.
Because it was terrible.
It was not good.
I hated Shmoo. It was so lazy. Like, what is this? It's just a blob?
Well,
We just gonna go with a blob? Like the blob?
yeah, but you
Like, at least Jabberjaw was a big talking shark, so, you know, somebody was smoking some weed.
well, yeah, but you know where they got the idea of the blob from? He was from the Herculoids.
Yes.
So I mean, so you kind of reworked
All
the
right.
Herculoid. I didn't like it.
Yeah, that was,
All right.
Shmoo was terrible. All right.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Also from 1979.
Mm-hmm.
Casper and the Angels.
I remember that. Yeah.
I remember
I
this
remember
too.
Casper and the Angels.
Casper, the friendly ghost,
Yeah.
is a guardian ghost to 2 female space police officers.
Why were they in space, Lynn? Why were they in space?
I don't know. But wait a minute.
Okay.
The space police officers were named Minnie, who was a rather ditzy redhead,
Sure.
and Maxie,
Uh-huh.
who was a much more intelligent African American woman
Sister.
with a very short temper,
Yeah.
who patrolled the Jetson-style space city
Yes.
on their flying motorcycles
Yeah,
in the year 2179.
Why?
Well, wait a minute, we're not. The crew needs one more because
Okay.
Casper, the friendly ghost,
Right. Casper's the
not
dead
exactly
kid.
the funny ghost.
Right.
So they are joined by the rambunctious but good-hearted Harry Scary, a large, shaggy, 1,000-year-old ghost
Sure.
with a red nose and a big bow tie, who enjoys scaring people, especially villains, but because he has a great deal of affection for his little pal Casper, He, unlike many of his ghostly kind, tries to accept the fact that the gentle ghost does not like to scare people.
Sure.
So Harry Scary dials back his scariness.
Well, because he's a dead kid.
Well, because Casper is a kid.
Is clearly a dead kid.
Yes.
Which is why I don't think we really do as much Casper anymore.
Well, I mean, Casper he came back in the 90s.
Yeah, right. And how often have you seen Casper since?
I'm sure there's a Casper somewhere.
Like, I think Casper's sitting over there with Pepe Le Pew. Like we just
No, Casper's not. He's not on Pepe Le Pew and
I know,
Speedy Rodriguez Island.
No, Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's not on that island.
Right, but still, like, you can't really get around. He's a dead kid.
Well, he's a ghost.
Right. You know what a ghost is?
A ghost.
It's a spirit of someone who died. And Casper's a kid ghost, which means...
Couldn't he have been a little person?
Oh, that's nice, Len.
What?
That's not. He's a dead little person.
Dead little person.
Dead little person. Why were they in space?
Who knows? Who knows why they were in space?
Why are they in space?
Why they were in space? I don't know.
All right.
I watched this.
All right.
I didn't enjoy
I watched it. It was just weird. It was like, what is happening? Go ahead.
It was very weird.
Yes, it was.
It was very weird. All right.
This was not my favorite either. Who we got?
Next, we have from 1978.
Okay.
Fangface.
Fangface. I vaguely remember this.
Highly derivative of Scooby-Doo with elements from the Tasmanian Devil and I Was a Teenage Werewolf. Mm-hmm. Fangface features 4 teenagers.
Okay.
Now get this. Buff, and I'm reading from the Wikipedia.
I'm
4 teenagers. Buff and handsome leader Biff.
Okay, sure. Biff. It's a good name.
Short, stocky, and pugnacious Pugsy.
Oh, okay. Pugsy. That's what we name.
And tall, skinny simpleton Sherman Fangsworth, who
was a werewolf.
would turn into a werewolf.
Right.
The person I left out was Biff's brainy and beautiful dusky-skinned girlfriend, Kim.
Oh, was Kim black?
Kim was black.
All right, Biff.
Kim was black, and Kim and Biff, if the name doesn't tell you, was white.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Look at 1979 being progressive.
Yes.
All right.
Biff and Kim said, "We'll go over here.
Right.
Y'all go check out over there."
Right. Fred and not Velma.
Daphne.
Fred and Daphne taught us how to do this.
That's right. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go upstairs and check the bedroom.
Yeah, we be back.
Fred come back, his ass got all on his head.
Woo! Did we figure out? Ooh, it's hot in here.
Them ghosts bring the heat.
Ooh, yeah. Daphne went and got some sandwiches for us. It's hungry. Velma, you got this figured out.
No, we be back. Call me when you got it done. The premise for Fangface.
Yes.
Every 400 years, a baby werewolf is born into the Fangsworth family, and so when the moon shined on little Sherman Fangsworth, he changed into Fangface, a werewolf. Only the sun can change him back to normal, and so little Fangs grew up and teamed up with his 3 daring teenagers, and together they find danger, excitement, and adventure. Who can save the day? Who can wrong the rights and right the wrongs? None other than Fangface, who, in the second season, which was actually 1979, it was retitled as Fangface and Fangpuss. Which
because there was a Scrappy-Doo type character.
Which introduced a new character, Baby Fangs.
Yeah.
Fang's infant cousin, who turns into a baby werewolf named Fangpuss.
Yeah, that was terrible.
This was Fangface from 1978. Were you a fan of Fangface?
I was not.
No?
I was.
You didn't try it?
I
1978?
I'm sure I tried it, but I'm not doing this.
It lasted 2 seasons.
Yeah.
All right. Now we come to probably, I don't know if this is your favorite, but you are a fan of this.
Okay.
Also from that magic year of 1979.
Okay.
Rickety Rocket.
Rickety Rocket, I was a fan. That's not what I was thinking about. But
I know.
Yeah, Rickety Rocket.
In the far future, 4 African-American teenagers
Right.
named Sunstroke,
Of course. That's how we name our children.
Splashdown, Cosmo, and of course,
Tyrone. Oh, I'm sorry.
Venus,
Yeah.
built a makeshift sentient talking rocket
Right, because they live in the future ghetto.
and run the far-out detective agency and solve mysteries that usually have them fighting suspects operating as master criminals or disguised as monsters. And thus, lest you think that this maybe doesn't fit our criteria, here are some of the episodes that they featured on Rickety Rocket. The Creepy Creature Caper. A crippled spaceship loaded with counterfeit money lands in the swamp. When the far-out detective agency investigates, they encounter the local swamp monster. Then we have the Count Draculon Caper.
Are you going to read the plot synopsis from episodes of Rickety Rocket?
Just 2 more. A space vampire.
2 more.
A space vampire named Count Draculon hijacks rocket liners using a hypno beam that turns the passengers and crew members into zombies. And then there is, of course, the horrible headless horseman caper. A ghost town holds the evidence that will convict an unknown vice president of Pegasus Corporation, and the far-out detective agency is sent to retrieve it while evading the robotic headless horseman. In Rickety Rocket.
Rickety Rocket.
Were you a fan of Rickety Rocket?
I kind of was. It was, you didn't see black kids that often.
No.
It was a shame that the 2 biggest shows with black kids on them, this and Fat Albert, the kids hung out in the junkyard all day.
Yeah. Even though they were in space,
Because racism.
they were in the junkyard.
Right.
That is very true.
All right. So what we got?
Number 1.
Number 1.
And I don't think this was my favorite
This is your favorite. All right.
of the
We do
ScoobyDoo
knockoff. And what is it?
from 1971. Josie and the Pussycats.
You're saying Josie and the Pussycats is a knockoff?
Which featured a teenage all-girl pop band
Sure.
that toured the world with their entourage, getting mixed up in strange adventures, spy capers, and mysteries. The group consisted of the level-headed lead singer, Josie, intelligent tambourine artist, Valerie, which was the black girl.
Yeah, she was. I like Valerie.
She was a problem.
Yeah.
That was a cartoon that was a problem.
Valerie was actually a problem.
She was a problem.
Valerie was a problem.
And I'll tell you why in a second. It also featured airheaded blonde drummer Melody.
Right.
The other characters included their cowardly manager, Alexander Cabot III, his conniving sister, Alexandra, her cat, Sebastian.
Yeah.
Always had to have a pet. And muscular roadie, Alan. The show, similar to Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, is remembered for his music, the girl's leopard print leotard, and for featuring Valerie as the first regularly appearing female black character in a Saturday morning cartoon show. Not only that, Valerie was voiced by Barbara Parrott, and her singing voice was done by Patrice Holloway. That was the first time that a black character was voiced by black voice actors.
I know she used to hit that tambourine on her thigh when they did the songs.
And despite Josie being the lead singer,
Yeah.
it was actually Patrice Holloway, the voice of Valerie singing, who sang the leads on all of their songs.
Sure. I didn't notice when I was 7.
In 1972, the series actually had a spinoff, Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space.
I remember that.
Josie's on a rocket ride. I love Josie and the Pussycats. I absolutely love
I love Josie and the Pussycats so much, I actually reject them being a knockoff. I don't think they're a knockoff.
Here's why they were. Because Josie and the Pussycats, for those who don't know, was based on a character that was created in Archie Comics.
Right.
And the band, the Pussycats in Archie Comics. Another piece of trivia, the band in Archie Comics, they were all white. It was only when they made it into the cartoon
Really?
series. Yes. Actually,
Wow.
yeah, you did.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. I guess I never read a Josie and the Pussycats
Most people.
comic before.
Right. A lot of people didn't. It was a hit, but it wasn't like a huge hit. But
Wow, that's really interesting.
so when they knew that they were going to make it into the series, they knew that they wanted to change some things up, have a black girl in there. And they wanted a black girl in there because just like all of the other shows of its ilk, they wanted to have the music, right?
And the blacks are good at music?
Well, they as they recruited for an actual band, because they were like, they wanted to have like a live Josie band. Patrice Holloway sang the best.
Right.
So they said, well, we don't want her voicing a white character.
Sure.
So let's make her black. And she proved so popular that they then changed it in the comics and wrote Valerie into the comics, it becoming the character that she was.
This is the most interesting thing that I've heard all week.
Well, you're welcome.
You do know things. You are smart.
Yes, I'm smart. You just want me to die when I go home.
You didn't do my two favorites, though.
Well, let me try and guess one of your favorites.
Okay, what's one of them?
Is one of them the one that you already just name checked?
What?
Jabberjaws.
Yes. I actually like Jabberjaw. I legitimately like Jabberjaw.
I did like Jabberjaws primarily because Jabberjaws, the shark, basically was Curly of the Three Stooges.
Plus, it was in the future and it was underwater. Ask me why.
Why was it?
I have no idea.
Well, same reason why Casper was in space.
Yeah, why is it in the future and also underwater?
Well, because of when it came out, they were trying to catch on to the Jaws,
Right.
Jaws and Star Wars.
Right, get the kid market of all the kids. That's what I'm talking about. All the kids who was watching Jaws.
Yes.
Like, why were there Jaws play sets? Jaws was horrifying.
It wasn't horrifying.
I mean, it was. I think it was when you were young enough. Yeah. So I love Jabberjaw.
I love Jabberjaws too. The only reason I didn't choose it is because there wasn't they weren't really mysteries.
Okay.
And there was
It solved mystery.
well, they were crimes. They were
Solved
underwater crimes.
underwater future mysteries.
Yeah, it was underwater crimes.
Yeah.
Or it was like somebody poked a hole in the dam.
Yeah,
it was like it wasn't.
it was mysteries.
Well,
It was as much mysteries as these other people.
yeah, but it wasn't ghosts.
As
It wasn't water ghosts.
Jabberjaw. But then my other one is a deep cut.
What's the other one?
You can't guess my deep cut?
Okay, is it from the same era?
It's absolutely the same era.
The Funky Phantom.
No. Quietly, the Funky Phantom used to scare me a little bit. It was bizarre.
It was a little too cool.
I like the Chan clan.
Yeah, okay, but the Chan Clan is yes.
I like the Chan clan.
Chan Clan was interesting. That was interesting.
Wouldn't fly nowadays.
Why?
A little racist. Chan clan was a little racist. Like, I think the theme song was like do 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 do. It's like, whoa.
Yes.
But I like the Chan clan
I like the Chan Clan.
because they were actually siblings. Back
In the
to our
show.
sibling
In the
thing,
show.
right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then Charlie Chan would come and had to clean up the mess sometimes.
Yes. And Charlie Chan was voiced by
Oh, I don't know.
Koi Lung, who was actually played number one son in the Charlie Chan TV show.
You are filled with facts. If I treated you like a pinata and burst you open, facts would just spill out. Yeah, I used to like the Chan clan.
Yeah, I like the Chan Clan.
Yeah.
That wasn't I like the Funky Phantom and Jabberjaws.
Yeah, Funky Phantom we got it.
And I also like Speed Buggy.
Yeah, I like Speed, but yeah, we got it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, we're running late. 70s cartoons is. Yeah, let's move to let's do the.
If only we could do a binge lounge about
we've
this
done
stuff.
a binge lounge about this.
I'm just here for another binge lounge.
Yes, all right, come on, but that was very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Very nice.
All right.
Very nice.
And now it's time for the Game of Kings.
Game of Kings.
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin.
Yes.
Before we get to 6 Degrees of Derville Martin, taking a spy and an eye on the chat line, I see that Aaron Fry wrote in that the Mike Tyson mysteries should have been on my list. They're not on my list because they're a spoof.
Right.
That's a spoof of all of this.
It's the Stranger Things. Of
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So no, and I like the Mike Tyson mysteries. I thought they were funny, but no, it's a straight up spoof. That's like saying like Harvey Birdman is a superhero cartoon. No, it's not. It's a lawyer cartoon.
Sure.
All right.
6
Degrees of Derville Martin, where Vincent has 6 movies or less to connect actors of my choice to that 70s cartoon all into himself, Derville Martin.
Okay.
Vincent.
Yes.
Keeping it in cartoon theme.
Oh, okay.
These are 2 prominent voice actors who have appeared in films.
Okay. All right.
Live action and some as voice acting.
Okay.
But feature films.
All right.
Starting with number 1. In 6 films or less, connect Derville Martin to Phil Lamar.
Yeah, I only know Phil Lamar in one movie.
Yeah, it's the layup.
Yeah. So Derville Martin is in 5 on the Black Hand Side with I just forgot his name. How did I just forget his name? They use all the time.
Dick Anthony
Williams, who's in Mo Better Blues with Samuel Jackson. And Samuel Jackson fools around and gets Phil Lamar's brains all in his Jerry curl wig in Pulp Fiction.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very good.
He plays Marvin. Poor dumb Marvin.
Yes.
Poor dumb Marvin.
Phil Lamar actually in live action got a little bit of a filmography.
What's he in besides Pulp Fiction?
He was in Biodome.
Okay, I didn't see that.
He was in Spider-Man 2, but admittedly they're saying that was uncredited. He was in Step Brothers.
What's he in Step Brothers? I love Step
It
Brothers.
says that he was the second home buyer.
Okay, yeah, it must have been damn near a cameo. Okay, all right.
And he was in Real Steel.
I never saw Real Steel.
I saw it. I can't say I remember him.
Yeah. Okay, but that's it. That's his filmography.
Oh no, there's more. But
Okay,
the other ones
right. I know he does a lot of cartoon work. Obviously,
you wouldn't know any of the other.
Okay.
All right, so that's Phil Lamar.
Okay.
Next we have in 6 films or less, Vincent. Connect Derville Martin to. You're gonna punch me. Cree Summer. And I'll be honest, it feature film, but it is voice work. And it is one of the leads.
I mean, it's the only thing I know her in the movies. Talking about a cartoon character that imprinted on a generation of kids. Like it's a dude who is a certain age that this is her character is their actual kink. Whoa. So let me.
Please don't be the character I think you're thinking of.
No. But I'm just trying to get to. All right. Okay. All right. Because I gotta get to him fast to get to her. All right. Derville Martin. Okay. Derville Martin is in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Leonard Jackson. Leonard Jackson is in Boomerang with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is in Dreamgirls with Danny Glover. So I had to get to Danny Glover because I think Danny Glover is the quickest way that I get to Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. Mel Gibson, okay, good. Because Mel Gibson is in Maverick with James Garner.
Okay.
And James Garner is in Atlantis.
Get that!
Empire. with Cree Summer. That's the only movie I know she's in.
Wow, that's not where I was going.
That's the
I'm
only
glad
movie.
it's not the character that I was thinking.
Right, because old girl shows up at the conventions all the time.
Phaedra.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I get it.
Yeah,
Now I get
like
what you're talking about.
it's a dude, like dudes like 10 years younger than us.
Yes.
Yeah, that's day one right there.
Yeah, Phaedra, yes, I can see that. But I was disturbed because for some people, she is more famously known as the voice of Susie Carmichael from the Rugrats.
Do the Rugrats have a movie?
They have 2 movies. They have the Rugrats movie, and then they have the Rugrats in Paris.
The Rugrats movie.
Yes.
I wouldn't know how to get to the Rugrats, though.
Oh, fair enough, but
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. And she also was, and I said Phaedra, excuse me. She in
Kima?
Atlantis: The Lost Empire. The character is Princess Kida.
Kida, yeah.
Kida.
Yeah.
Phaedra is her character from the Wild Thornberrys movie.
Oh, yeah, I don't know nothing about that.
I love the Wild Thornberrys.
Yeah.
I used to watch that with Olivia.
But I love Atlantis: The Lost Empire. I absolutely. You don't like that?
No, I liked it. I did like it.
The
I did
Mike
like it.
Mignola designs?
Oh my God, yeah. No, it's a very underrated. I think it just celebrated an anniversary.
Yeah, you're talking about something that got kind of lukewarm reviews when it came out, and then over the years, people have realized it's a friggin' masterpiece.
Yeah, it's a good. That's a
Did Mike Mignola ever have an art book
based on that?
based on that?
Probably not him. Now maybe Disney put.
Oh
out
my
art.
goodness! Did you? I assume you saw the whatchamacallit scene. The scene that wasn't in the theatrical release.
Maybe I don't know which. I didn't see it in the movies. I saw it on
the scene where it shows in the past, where Atlantis is that crazy that Kraken kills the Viking boat, sinks the Viking boat. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Now what I didn't know is that it had a direct-to-video sequel.
Mm-hmm. Yup, and Phil Morris plays. There's some type of first about the doctor he plays. Like it's the first depiction
in the original one.
Yeah, it's the first animated depiction, maybe of a black man in a Disney movie.
What?
Think about it. This is before the Princess and the Frog.
Really? Now I got to look that up.
There's something about Phil Morris's depiction of the Doctor that's a first.
That is really, really incredible.
Yup. Love that movie.
Wow. I'm not seeing anything like any type of like mention of that. I'm just scanning real quick about that, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Wow. Pretty dope.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
all right.
There we have. I do know that was the last the last work of Jim Varney.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
That's interesting. Oh wow, that's dope. Okay. All right. Well done, Vincent.
Yeah.
You surprised us once again with your astounding ability.
For sure.
All right, now it is time for us to get into our review of Haunted Mansion from 2023. Haunted Mansion, an American supernatural horror comedy directed by Justin Simien of Dear White People fame, from a screenplay by Katie DePaul. It stars LaKeith Stanfield, Tiffany Haddish, Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, Rosario Dawson, Dan Levy, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Jared Leto. In the film, a single mother and her son, Rosario Dawson and Chase W. Dillon, respectively, enlist the aid of an astrophysicist turned tour guide, a struggling psychic, a con man posing as a priest, and a college historian to help exorcise the ghostly inhabitants of the titular building that they have recently moved into. in Vincent's selection for tonight's stop on the mission. Vincent, what say you of Haunted Mansion?
Well, as we said a little bit before the review, I really was just sort of offhanded with this film. Like I knew all month we'd be doing horror films, and I wanted to kind of ease out of it. And I said, I'll do something a little light. And I said Haunted Mansion, and I paid so little attention that, as we said, I mixed up the movies. Like I was thinking about the Eddie Murphy one, and then we kind of settled on this. And I vaguely remember this being out. You know, in the movie's defense, infamously, this was during the actors' strike. So they couldn't do any publicity for it at all. You know, as he mentioned, Justin Simien is a director that I like from Dear White People, but to be brutally honest, I don't know if it's the direct follow-up, but it's the one that's closer to this in tone, Bad Hair, that he directed. I was not a fan. So I didn't have that many high hopes for it along those lines. And then just, you know, Disney, for me, a lot of the moves that Disney makes creatively over the past 20 years have just been protecting IP, exploiting IP. You know, it's live action, it's prequel that, it's something based on this is based on a ride, you know, a historical classic ride at Disneyland and Disney World. So, you know, I really had no kind of hopes or anything for this at all. Like, I was like, I gotta do something. It's October. I want to watch nothing else scary. And I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked this. Like, didn't love it, but I liked it. I think as you mentioned, this is directed by Justin Simien, and I think he does a fine job, very professional job. But for me, the script by Katie Dippold had a lot more emotional resonance, had a lot more honest chuckles than I expected. As you mentioned, LaKeith Stanfield plays this astrophysicist who, after a tragedy, like his wife has died, he takes over her job, which is giving ghost tours. And the film has a really smart, really neat little 5-minute sequence where you see a meet cute between Stanfield's character, Ben Mathis, and his wife, Alyssa, who's only in one scene. But it's a nice little scene. Like I think the film does a good job getting you invested in their relationship so that when it's gone, you kind of get this guy. And throughout the film, I think the script does an adequate job with emotional beats. You know, you find out about Rosario Dawson's character and a little bit of her background. You know, you find about the backgrounds of the characters, and it's still a Disney movie. It's still a movie based on a ride. So, you know, it's not Moonlight.
Right.
But there's enough there that it kind of like, okay, this kind of works for me. The special effects, you know, and the ghost effects and the horror part, frankly, I almost would like to talk to a 12-year-old
to get their
read on it, because there was nothing that scary to me. There was nothing that sort of affecting. Frankly, I don't think there was anything that justified a PG-13 rating. But it's Disney. They put some money in it. It's some special effects. But I think what really made this film elevate to the level of oh, okay, that actually wasn't that bad, was the cast.
Okay.
Like, I really, really liked the cast. The conceit of the film is that the mansion traps people, basically. People go into this haunted mansion, and then when they try to leave, they're followed by ghosts. And the film starts with, you know, after what has happened with her family, this character, Gabby, played by Rosario Dawson, and her son, played by, as you said, Chase Dillon, whose name is Travis, and looks so much like a young Rodney Allen Rippey that I actually looked it up to see if they were related, and they weren't.
He definitely had, he was bringing to mind, I guess in his precociousness, a young Gary Coleman to me.
Right, well, but Gary Coleman is just Rodney Allen Rippey reboot. So they get trapped in the house, and then they gather people, basically. And they gather LaKeith Stanfield, and they gather Owen Wilson, who plays a quote-unquote minister, and then Tiffany Haddish plays a medium who gets roped in, and then Danny DeVito is a local historian who ends up getting roped in too.
Roping himself in.
Roping himself in. And these are all actors that work. Danny DeVito is there, and he brings this, you know, this real chaotic energy that I think Danny DeVito characters bring to a project. Many of my laugh out loud moments are from Danny DeVito and his comedic timing and everything he does. Tiffany Haddish, I have to say, as time has gone on, a little Tiffany Haddish goes a long way with me.
You say that every time.
But to Justin Simien's credit, he figures out how to use her.
Okay.
And I liked her in this. And this is one of the few current projects that made me remember that I like Tiffany Haddish. I was like, oh, okay, I kind of like Tiffany Haddish. But I think the real thing that I took from this, I don't know how much their careers are ever going to overlap again. I could watch LaKeith Stanfield and Owen Wilson do stuff. Just do stuff together. They both have this kind of laid back, kind of smart ass energy right under the surface that they bounce off each other. And in my mind, the best parts of the film are the two of them together. Now, what does that say about Rosario Dawson and LaKeith Stanfield, who she's supposed to be the love interest? Well, I don't think Rosario Dawson does much in this film. And I came away saying, okay, this is, it's all right. Does it have problems? Yeah, of course. It's a movie. First of all, it's way too long.
Oh.
It's way too long. Like, it's a 2-hour movie. It's way overplotted. Like there's a plot with in the past, the man who owned the house was trying to contact his dead wife, and the medium opened up, and now a whole bunch of ghosts came in the house, and that's why it's so many ghosts in the house. But then also, in addition, an evil ghost came in the house, and then the evil ghost has its own story, but now the evil ghost has a plan for how to get out of the house, and it's just a lot going on that I think is way unnecessary.
You didn't even touch on Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right, Jamie Lee Curtis is the ghost in the head who was the medium. It's just way too much going on for a movie that you don't need all that. Along those lines, as much as I enjoyed everyone's individual moments, you probably could have cut Danny DeVito completely out of this. Like, he didn't need to be in here. Truth be told, as much as I love her generally, I guess there's got to be a kid in here because it's a Disney movie, so it's good. You didn't need Rosario Dawson in here, frankly. She doesn't really have anything to do. Tiffany Haddish is nice, but again, I think there's a streamlined, leaner version of this film that comes in at 1.5 hours. And then it really is, regardless of what I just said about needing the opinion of a 12-year-old. Tonally, I just don't know where the film was trying to hit.
Didn't pick a lane.
Like, it's never really that scary. But at the same time, some of the imagery, some of the details of the film are a little much for a little kid. And I think this is a hard needle hole to thread, frankly. Like I think there are very few films that thread this needle and get that tone right. Like, this is the fourth or fifth time now I'm going to name check Gremlins, you know, or even I think the film we just showed, Attack the Block, does a good job kind of straddling this. And I suspect a lot of that is because of the IP protection. Like this is the Haunted Mansion. And, you know, when you read about it, like, I'm not a Haunted Mansion guy, but, you know, apparently there are Easter eggs with the ride, and it's connected to it. And you sense that even if you don't know. Like, part of the reason I looked it up, it was like there were aspects of the film and there were bits of the dialogue that you could tell
Pulled directly from the ride.
that they were saying the bits of dialogue, and then there was a beat for a reaction. It's like, oh, this must be like, I've watched enough Marvel movies to like, I can spot a reference even if I don't know the reference. And there's a lot of that. So I was pleasantly surprised, mainly because my expectations were so low. And I legitimately enjoyed the camaraderie and the chemistry between Owen Wilson and LaKeith Stanfield. So that, you know, I liked more of it than I disliked. So I'm going to land on I liked it.
Okay.
And again, you know, this is a film that, much like the predecessor, apparently, it would not surprise me if there is a generation of kids that finds this on the Disney Channel, finds this on Disney Plus, and 20 years from now,
Yes.
there are going to be these retrospectives written about it.
Right. That would not surprise me either. And I'm all for that, right? I'm all for, you know, you find a movie where you are. And if you're 12 years old and you find this movie and it speaks to you, and that becomes a part of your childhood, you know, because you love all this aspects of the movie, that's great. Go with God. It's beautiful. Because I know that one day you will be 18 or 19, 20, 22, and you will return to this film. And you will return to it because you remember when you saw it when you were 12 years old. It's like, oh my God, I love this movie. I want to introduce this to my kids. And you're going to put it on and you're going to be like, what was that? What was I watching? What was I watching? But the kids like it. And that, at the end of the day, is all that matters. I do understand the PG-13 about this film because it does, some of the imagery of the ghosts is a little, you know, it's like there's some skeletal looks, and the little boy Travis, he literally jump scares at a skull, you know. So I can see PG-13 for that. Your parent wants to be there with a younger child watching this. Other than that, there's nothing going on in this film. I saw this film actually when it came out. I went to the theaters to see this film. And the only saving grace about going to the theater to see this film is because I saw it in the theater that had artesian pretzel bites.
Oh, my God.
So, knowing that what I was sitting down for, I placed 2 orders of artesian pretzel bites to get me through this film. not knowing that it was going to be 2 hours.
2 hours.
And
2 hours and 4 minutes, actually.
And that my 2 orders of pretzel bites did not make it throughout the entire run of this film.
Right.
Like, yeah, I found this film to be very unfunny, very muddy. I, too, just like you said, you know, we saw Justin Simien. We're fans of Dear White People. Bad Hair. We're like, I think he may have learned the wrong lessons from Bad Hair because he brought some of that bad hair and put that on LaKeith Stanfield and Rosario Dawson in this film because I have no idea what the hell was going on her head. And there's no explanation for what the costume department was doing with her wardrobe in this movie.
I know you're talking. I kept waiting for the reveal that Rosario Dawson and the kid were also ghosts.
Yes.
Because why was he dressed like a 1920s newsie?
Exactly. And she was dressed like his mother.
Get your papers. Got your newspaper here.
With the knickers and the whole nine.
2 bits.
And wondering why the kids was chasing him from school. But just like you, I'm waiting for this to be. They're going to explain this, right?
Right. They're also ghosts. I thought they were ghosts.
I actually believe we're closer to right. Because if you pay attention to how this film is edited,
Interesting.
there are a lot of scenes where someone is talking, but the camera's on someone else, which points to a lot of, you know, redubbing of the lines, maybe changing the story and making the footage to match what this story it ultimately becomes. Because especially in the beginning of this film, there are a lot of edits. Like scenes don't run like more than 30 seconds a minute, you know? And when they do, even then there are some scenes where their back is to you and they're saying words, but you can tell by the side of their mouths that their mouths aren't saying that, which is always necessarily the case. But there's so much of it in this movie, which made me believe, to my, admittedly, not a kid's eye, a trained watching movies eye, oh, they did a whole lot of fixing up on this movie. They did a whole lot of fixing in this movie, and it's still not working. You talking about how, you know, this ragtag crew comes together. There's a whole lot of telling about how they come together, not a whole lot of showing, right? One of the best parts of this movie, and I thought you were going to lean on this, was LaKeith Stanfield bend his character, the meet cute, with his wife, Alyssa. And let's give a shout out, even though she's in this film very fleetingly, Charity Jordan.
Yeah,
Plays Alyssa. I could have seen those two.
Oh.
You know, I could have just sat and watched the movie with them, right? You could have flashed back to that a little bit more. But that scene of how they meet and then how he, you know, talks about being an astrophysicist to her and then ultimately propose to her. Those scenes work. And those scenes work so well that when he ultimately tells a story about what happened to his wife, it is very emotional. And it is one of the few moments in this movie where the camera stays on somebody for an extended time. And it is honestly, to my eyes, one of the few times that LaKeith Stanfield is dipping into his well of talent to bring something to this movie. Because the rest of the time, no shade on the brother. We are fans of him.
Of course.
But the rest of the time, I think LaKeith Stanfield is like, look, Ma, I got a check with the mouse on it.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the work.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what he's doing. You mean I need to run against this green screen like I'm running down a hall? Sure, I can do that. I need to just say some lines to Owen Wilson and set him up to maybe let his laconic nature make this scene work? Sure, I can do that. I think LaKeith Stanfield, for the most part, is sleepwalking through this movie. But no shade on him, because I think everybody's sleepwalking. I think we didn't need Danny DeVito, you're right, but he's in here and he's sleepwalking. Rosario Dawson, I don't blame her for sleepwalking. She ain't got nothing to do in this movie but hold up this dumb wig on her head. The young boy, Chad Wilson, he's got a nice little vibe about him. Got a little Gary Coleman what was
Rodney Allen Rippey.
Right. About him. He's good. But there may be a little bit too much of him. He could have dialed back on him a little bit. But I understand his reason.
Sure.
Tiffany Haddish, you're right. A little bit of Tiffany goes a long, long way. Justin Simien, dialed in a little bit, but I feel that she's riffing a little bit, trying to make what is not necessarily a funny script, maybe finding some fun in it. It ain't hitting. The only thing she really is good for is hitting all of the product placement that they said they needed. Here, Ghost, pick up this pen and paper that I got from CVS. That's a quote from the movie.
That's a direct quote.
It's a quote from the movie, folks.
Yeah.
CVS is the sponsor of this movie. Like, everybody, the special effects, I think, are on the level of the ride at Disney World.
Okay.
Which are good special effects for the ride that was created in the 70s, in the 80s, on a big feature film.
Were they trying to evoke that look?
I think they were trying to evoke the look, but I think what ruins it, and this is why I'm interested in watching the 2003 Haunted Mansion, because I read a little bit. I usually don't read backstory about movies that I haven't seen before I've seen them. But I wanted to know something about that film. And what they said in that film is that for that movie, and maybe it's because it's 2003, 20 years ago, they actually created a haunted house set for them to be in. You know, there was some special effects as far as the roof, but for the most part, they were on a set within a physical space. This movie is a lot of green screen.
I just thought they were trying to, like you said, evoke the ride.
No, they're trying to evoke the ride, but you're also trying to bring the ride alive. And one of the fun parts about the ride, I don't know if you ever got on there. How long has it been?
Yeah, I'm realizing I never even got in.
One of the fun things about the ride is that you are actually going into a house.
Right.
You are going into a physical space. You are going from one room to another room. You are looking down on a dining room and seeing ghosts fly around. You're in the space.
Yeah, I'm not.
But this movie.
I'm getting on this small world again.
It's Casper and the Angels. You'll be fine. But in this movie,
Epcot and
in this movie, you're just in a room full of green screen, and you get the sense that when there is acting against the ghosts, it is everybody's weightless. It doesn't have any physicality to it.
Well,
and that it takes me out of the.
See, again, I got the sense, and I hear what you're saying about the PG-13, but even that, I don't think there was anything in here a 10-year-old couldn't handle. And I got the sense...
You're right.
And I got the sense with the scenes with the ghost. And what I took from it is that there is this generalized sense of artifice about the whole thing. That practical effects, I think, would undermine. But I think practical effects are scarier.
Yes.
I think if you had the type, I got the sense that a lot of and you just said it, a lot of the images of the ghosts are lifted directly from the ride. And tonally, it seemed like they wanted to keep it sort of light.
Yes, obviously.
Which is a choice.
It's a choice, but
I think there's a difference between a choice and a dearth of craft.
Right. And I hear you on that the practical effects would come off scarier. I think you can still do the computer animated effects, but I think they should still be in an actual space. Like,
Sure.
you should be up against a wall that has been set dressed to look like a haunted house, as opposed to a computer generated wall that now has a computer generated effect on it.
Look, I'm so cynical about this whole vein of Disney films that you know, my instinct is always nobody cared enough to invest in this the way you're talking about investing in it.
No, that's probably
Like we just gonna throw some money at it. It's been 20 years. We need some name recognition for the Haunted Mansion. Let's go ahead and kind of put this thing together. And again, I think I just went into this thinking, you know, like I think the real problem with the Haunted Mansion is that somehow, against all extraordinary odds, the Pirates of the Caribbean worked. Like somehow that worked. So they just gonna keep.
You're right.
Like what was it? Was it Futureland? Tomorrowland was 2 or 3 years ago.
That was that did.
And there's this. We're just gonna make it Space Mountain the movie.
There hasn't been a Space Mountain.
It's a Small World the movie. You know, it's like
I'm surprised there hasn't been a Space Mountain movie.
I am too, actually.
Yeah,
I am too, and because you know, Return to Witch Mountain was my absolute jam.
never saw it.
Whoa!
Never saw it.
I don't know how good it is, but I loved Return to Witch Mountain. So you know, I just.
Would you recommend that people see Haunted Mansion?
I mean, look, man. I think if you have some kids, I think the Halloween Town series of movies from the 80s, I think obviously, you know, A Nightmare Before Christmas, what's the movie?
Are you trying to think
with
of
Bette Midler and the other ones in there?
Hocus Pocus,
Hocus Pocus,
which they just did a sequel.
Which they just did a sequel to, and I think the original Hocus Pocus does a good job of threading this needle, but I think this. You know what? I'll take out A Nightmare Before Christmas because I think A Nightmare Before Christmas is legitimately a great film. But I think this can fit right in with Hocus Pocus. And you know, I'll let a millennial pipe in about the Halloween movie that they show on Nickelodeon or Disney every year that they love so much. And you know, outside of that, I really, like, if you have to sit through it with your kid, look, I like LaKeith Stanfield enough, and I legitimately liked him and Owen Wilson together. So this is by skin of the teeth recommendation, but I'm going to say I do recommend it.
All right. Well, Vincent says you should watch this film, folks.
And Len,
I think you can find something else to do with your time. Another LaKeith Stanfield. Hey, if you want to see a haunted house movie and sit and watch with your kids that is smart for the kids and you will still enjoy.
Get Out.
No.
Okay.
Monster House. Animated film. Very good. Very good film. Watch Monster House.
I was underwhelmed by Monster House.
Really?
I was.
I'm surprised you saw it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had children.
Right.
Well, I like Monster House.
All right.
Or, PG-13, Beetlejuice. I haven't seen the sequel. I would go see Beetlejuice. Don't go see Haunted House.
Beetlejuice skews a little older than this.
Maybe so, but I think that if you got your kids, I think they would enjoy Beetlejuice. I think they could handle Beetlejuice. They can handle Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice gets a little, because it's like a couple of suicides in there, and
what?
And remember the guy has killed himself. There's at least one guy who has killed himself in Beetlejuice.
Okay, well,
Beetlejuice, yeah.
Well, then you have to have a talk with your child.
Yeah, Beetlejuice is tough.
Sometimes movies make us talk to our children, and that's what Beetlejuice does.
You took Olivia to see Blade 2.
Why you have to remind people? Why have to remind people of that?
Just put in the context.
We were almost done. We were done. We were done. All right. Well, that is our review of Haunted House. Next week, the Micheaux Mission will not be here, folks. We will not be here, and you won't be here because you'll be voting.
Yes, you will.
Or you haven't voted already.
Yeah.
If you haven't voted already, you'll be voting next Tuesday, November 5th. The judge of elections have spoken.
You missed it's a gavel right there. It's right there. There you go. There you go.
Talking to you, Miss Makiba. All right. But if you want to get in touch with the Micheaux Mission, please send us an email at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUXMISSION@gmail.com. You can always find the Micheaux Mission on the social media of your choice, whether or not it be Instagram, X, or Facebook at Micheaux Mission. You can always join our Facebook group at Micheaux Mission. You could subscribe to the Micheaux Mission on YouTube. Hit the bell and be notified of when we go live and when we put up our new videos and shorts on YouTube. The Micheaux Mission is also a podcast available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever good podcasts be, such as ours, which is a proud member of The Podglomerate. ThePodglomerate.com. They make podcasts work, even in beautiful studios such as this called Young Chunk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace. If you want to book you and your podcast in one of the lovely studios here, you can email Dylan at youngjunk.com. That's DYLAN at youngjunk.com. All right.
All right.
Well, that's it.
Pretty sure that's not how we end the podcast.
No? Oh, I remember. I'm smart.
I'm smart. I know things.
I know things. That's Vincent. I'm Len. When I want respect. And in pardon, he says,
we'll see you when it's time to meet again.
I'm going to die.
Why are you going to die?